City News, and we're outside the city of Port Harcourt getting people's opinions on the controversy between mixing traditional worship and religion. So come with us as we get their opinions. There's this topic that has been going on, and it's about people that are fully into the things of God, fully into Islamism, and also fully into tradition. What do you think about that, sir?
What I think about, the mistake you've made is that when you mention Islam, it's also a thing of God, rather. You understand? Because it's just a way of worship. So I think the major difference of what you're saying now is about the things of God and the things of tradition.
Yes.
Possibly. So what I think is, no matter how you look at it, everything is about the things of God. We in the African society, we have a way of segregating our own culture, making it look like we have a different God altogether. You understand? African society and their tradition, it's just their way of worship. As a matter of fact, every of those religious differences, they acknowledge the supremacy of God. And so there is no conflict anywhere whatsoever about the existence of God vis-a-vis those other religions. So I think that in the African society, they acknowledge that practically within their immediate environment, that their gods are around them. They look around and they create their personal gods between their own level. And then every other religion is like foreign. Islamic religion is like a foreign religion, predominance in the northern society, while the Christian religion is more on the south. But from the way I look at it, it is either Christian religion or the traditional religion. So I don't see any conflict. They all exist side by side. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, you need to understand that culture, tradition comes from the background of people long before civilization, quote and unquote, came into the scheme of things. As of now, there's no way you can completely divorce people from their background. I'll give you an example. For example, we all know that in the UK, for example, women are like the head of the house. They own the home. And that's why when there is friction in the home, sometimes the police or the system, kicks the man out of the home. And then the woman becomes the breadwinner and everything in the home. The same applies to India, all right? In India, for example, women pay the groom price. They pay the dowry. Yeah, but you see, you can't take away the fact that we are Africans before whatever is ongoing. And this so-called civilization we are currently practicing, as a matter of fact, is not rooted from Western countries. Because civilization, as a matter of fact, started in Africa. Yeah. We all know that in a place like Ethiopia, for example, they were not colonized by anybody. The same extension to, semi-done in places like Liberia. Are you getting it now? Yes. And the kind of Bible we are using in this part of the world is not the same Bible that is used by the Israelis, for example. They use the Torah. If you go to Ethiopia, the Bible they are using is not the same as we are using here. And I don't want to be too nice, I'm going to be slightly modest to say that even the way the so-called Christianity is practiced here in Nigeria, it's gone commercial. It's not truly anchored on the tenets or the belief or the way of Christ per se. It's now a money-making, big-time business for a lot of people. You understand? That's why today, the church is not even one. For example, the way people dress in some churches compared to others is not the same. Some are just, for me, social gathering and a lot of plenty of talk for money, and tithes and offerings and the rest of them. But indeed, Christianity is anchored on the followership of Christ, the way of Christ, the way Christ wants us to live. We have all deviated from that. So you can see that there's a multiplicity of complexities. You understand? There's a multiplicity of complexities in this whole thing. So my final take will be that you should never forget where you're coming from, because ultimately you answer to them. All right? We should not be carried away by the fact that Christianity has completely eroded where you come from. As a person, you come from somewhere. The rights and the customs and the traditions of your place must be held up high by you. If you don't do it, in the end, you will be accountable for it.
One know wetin you think about people wey be say they fully into tradition. They do masquerades, then they do they pour drink, then they do wrestling, all those kind things. Then they go shrine. Then they fully into all those things. And then still they be head of church. What be your idea for that kind of thing?
They
This one your face change.
They said they're still head of church.
Yes, now it dey happen now.
Okay, to me, I would just feel like this person just wants to like, maybe some persons were born into this thing. Maybe your father was part of a kind of a community group. Then you yourself, when you were born, you decided to be going to church. But the thing is, you must serve what your father served. In some families, sometimes they force it onto their children. So you just like, okay, it's tradition now. I will just follow them and do the traditional part. Then when it's time for church, you also go to church. But to me, you just know the one you're doing. If you're going to church, you go to church. If you're doing tradition, you do tradition. Because at the end of the day, heaven is not for everybody. So just choose your path. And it's not good mixing the both of it. That's the truth for me. If you're serving the God, serve the gods. If you're serving God himself, serve God. Don't mix them together.
Afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma.
Okay, sir, you get some question wey we wan ask you. For wetin concern people wey be say they go church, then they dey into maybe dem be choir mistress, choir master, or even pastor sef. Then they still dey into traditional things. They do masquerade, then they pour drink. Wetin you think about those things? Is they okay?
From my own side, they're okay. Because
Why?
I believe say as you don't repent, we they call God. So as you serve God, no need to serve another things like anything you do, something like that. Are you understand me? So that's you no believe to God where they serve you that. If you believe to God where they serve, you don't need to serve another things.
But sir, some people say na culture. Say no be say dem dey serve juju. Say besides of also be say we be Christian. Say we get where we from. And say person dey go into all those things. Mean say the person dey respect the roots. Wetin you feel for that opinion?
Well, everybody get wetin decide for your own mind. Some true of course e dey from some family for the Guinea when they serve that kind of thing. Then from the family you go see some say as I don't believe to God, my hand no go for this thing again. Some dey like that. There's some see believe say as that thing dey for him family when they serve from the Guinea, he go see they continue to belong to anything wey they do about that thing.
So the whole summary now be say anything wey nothing concern Christian and traditional something now.
Christian, if you really be Christian, not to concern for that thing. If you really be Christian, you leave all this thing, face God as if say you be Christian. Because you don't call yourself say you be born again. Then as you say you be born again, you don't need to serve anything to do.
And say give what belong to Caesar to Caesar. Okay. So that is the thing. Before we were born, they was doing the tradition already. So we cannot stop it. But if you know that you want to serve God, you can abandon those things and serve God. So you cannot base in two sides. That is the thing.
Okay, so you feel say if you want to do wetin concern God, focus on that one.
Yes.
Then if you want to do wetin concern tradition, focus on tradition.
Yes.
But you still say give what belongs to Caesar to Caesar. Yes. So that means if person say wan do the two, now is it okay?
It's not okay. You can base on one side.
Well, my take is very simple, all right? Because first of all, tradition is like cultures that relates to the past and present. Like this is what we know ourselves for. This is what we do like before civilization and every other thing came about. While religion would have to do with, practices that are sacred. Yeah, things that have to do with divine mysteries and the rest of all that brackets. So where the line is being drawn is where one conflicts with another. For example, I mean, you can't stop a Christian from, dancing his cultural dance, all right? From using their cultural pots and all those things, like anything that has to show that, oh, this is where I'm coming from. Wearing their clothes, all right? Like this is an attire for this particular culture, all right? But when he has to conflict with what his religion says, no matter the religion, that's where there's issues. But if it has nothing to do with what he believes in, all right, because you can actually go on your traditional and cultural issues, watch masquerade and all that, but when you begin to do things that actually hits your divinity, hits your soul, that that, oh, from my religion standpoint, this is wrong, all right, it's conflicting with my tradition. I think that's where the line is being drawn.
Okay, basically, so there's a thin line between spiritualism and tradition.
Yes.
Because I've seen, like personally, whereby people that wear this masquerade stuff, the people that come around them sort of get, I don't know if I should say possessed with this whole spirit, and they just start manifesting. So you feel like it's okay to identify with your culture.
Definitely.
And your way of life, but when you go beyond, that's where the problem comes.
Yes, where it passes what your religion believes. For example, that, okay, you can just put on any marks and just dance, all right? But if you have to do something that is outside what your religion believes, for example, you have to, yes, that kind of thing, to empower you. Because I do see children, come around, play as masquerades, and they ask for money, you give them, you understand. But when they have to, spill blood, they have to, get possessed and all that, like, it's now crossing that line, all right, where your religion conflicts with your tradition. Yeah.
But with the general stereotype, most people feel like it's not okay to handle both of them, mainly based on the stereotype, just like the way we have let's say maybe leg chains, and people will be like, why is a pastor wearing a leg chain? Because he has this general view about it. Do you feel like that's the same way we should also see this whole culture and religion thing?
Well, I believe everything has a symbol, all right? The reason why someone who's on police uniform can carry a gun and you still be comfortable is because you understand that a police uniform requires the person to carry a gun. No, unlike if somebody that's not wearing a uniform just brings out a gun here, everybody wants to run. Why? Because the symbol of that uniform shows that, okay, he's legalized to carry a gun. So if there's a symbol attached to a particular form of dressing, a particular form of culture, you know that, oh, people that do this, they do that because of they are worshiping this kind of God, or they are doing this kind of thing. It will be very uncomfortable to the followers of the pastor if he actually goes into those practices that symbolizes that you must have worshipped this, you must have done this, you understand. So it may not conflict his own interest as a person, but his followers.
Okay, so based on people that he's leading, it doesn't make sense to do that.
Yes, of course.